Hey baseball fans, how's it going? Hayden here. And in today's video, I'll be going over 3 free agent pitchers that the New York Mets could potentially target. So, let's stop wasting any more time and let's dive right into it. Starting the first guy in today's video, we have Carlos Rodon, a pretty obvious candidate. For most of Rodon's 6-year career in the major leagues, he has always been a back-of-the-end starter who struggled to stay on the field. However, he proved everyone wrong these last 2 seasons. Rodon is coming off an elite 2022 season, making 31 starts, going 14-8, posting a 2.88 ERA, a 1.0 WHIP, a 2.25 FIP, a 2.83 SIERA, a 6.2 WAR, 11.98 K per 9, 33.4 strikeout percentage, and 237 strikeouts in total. So we could see these are some pretty good darn numbers. The concern that may come to mind with Rodon is his past history with being able to stay in the field. As stated before, the last 2 seasons he's been very consistent with making a start every 5 days, but this still has an effect on his past free agency, as he only signed a 2-year deal worth $44 million with a player option in the 2nd year. However, it seems Carlos Rodon is on a new path of success. Rodon would fit into the Mets rotation nicely, considering this would be a remedy to the Mets' lack of left-handed pitching, and would slot in nicely to the number 3 spot, most likely depending on how the rest of the offseason goes. Rodon has a 3-pitch mix in his fastball, his slider, and his curveball, which is unhittable. Rodon turns 30 in December, so he is a younger, more controllable option than most of the starters available in the free agent market this offseason. Rodon is a younger option and is only getting better. Our second guy on today's video, we have another obvious choice in Justin Verlander. After only making a single start in the past 2 seasons prior to this season, it seemed that Verlander's elite Cy Young career was most likely over. Some still had hopes that Verlander would be a solid starter, but I don't even think the most optimistic Houston Astros fan would have expected what Verlander was going to do in 2022. Verlander is coming off of arguably one of his best seasons at the age of 39, right off of Tommy John surgery, winning the AL Cy Young Award, which is mind-boggling to think about. Verlander went 18-4, posting a 1.75 ERA, a 0.8 WHIP, a 2.49 FIP, a 3.09 SIERA, a 6.1 WAR, 27.8 strikeout percentage, a 9.51 K per 9, 186 strikeouts, in all 175 innings pitched. Verlander is a fine wine with his 4-seamer, his slider, and his changeup. Nice arsenal of pitches there. Verlander's track record is too good for the Mets to not strongly consider this signing, as Verlander has plenty of postseason experience, also can help develop the Mets' younger starters in David Peterson and Tyler McGill. The only worry that is present with Verlander is how he is seeking a multi-year deal with a high AAV. And I probably don't need to explain too much on why giving a 40-year-old pitcher a high AAV with a multi-year contract can go wrong. Are the Mets going to be willing to give Verlander a Scherzer-like contract and take the risks? Will that be a deterrent for teams that are looking to sign him? We're honestly just going to have to wait and see. But I think Verlander could bring more to a team than negative. Plus, you get to see Kate Upton at the ballpark, so that's definitely a benefit. Moving on to the next guy in today's video, and perhaps this is an unlikely thing to happen, but there is one veteran the Mets could keep an eye on, and that is Nathan Eovaldi. Eovaldi is coming off of a 2022 season where he posted a record of 6-3, a 3.87 ERA, a 1.2 WHIP, a 4.30 FIP, 3.55 SIERA, a 1.0 WAR, 22.4 strikeout percentage, 8.48 K per 9, 103 strikeouts, in all 109 1/3 innings pitched. Eovaldi does have a decent mix of pitches with his 4-seamer, his split finger, which has been a success for him lately, a curveball, and a slider. Eovaldi may have low strikeout numbers, but has a very high ground ball percentage, as he posted a 48% ground ball rate this past season, along with a low walk percentage. The right hand has definitely dealt with some injuries this past season and has dealt with injuries for most of the parts of his career, but when healthy, he has been a very effective mid-rotation arm. One positive for Nathan Eovaldi is that he's been an outstanding postseason performer in his career, having a 2.14 ERA in 11 appearances. With Eovaldi being 32, this is probably his last chance at a nice contract. The Mets could afford it, and he's a quality veteran to plug their rotation on a cheap AAV deal. The last guy we have on today's video is Kodai Senga, who, yes, technically is not a free agent, nor has any MLB experience or has ever played baseball in the United States, but Senga does have a strong and long resume in the NPB League out in Japan, and is expected to sign with an MLB team this offseason, so figured I'd include him on today's list. Looking at Senga's 2022 season out in Japan, he went 11-6, posting a 1.94 ERA, a 1.0 WHIP, a strikeout per nine of 9.4, 159 strikeouts, 50 walks, in all 148 innings pitched. Although, in his 275 career appearances, Senga has put together a 2.42 ERA and a 3.18 strikeout-to-walk ratio. Senga has a broad arsenal of pitches, but spectators of Senga have highlighted 3 of his pitches in particular, which are his mid-90s fastball, which he could elevate up in the zone. His second pitch is his forkball, which could be considered a splitter that has a result in a whiff on more than 50% of swings taken against it and has a chase rate of nearly 40%. Lastly, Senga does have a nice curveball. So, those are 4 offseason targets for starting pitching depth for the New York Mets. The Mets are in an interesting spot when it comes to their rotation, which then, having the hopes of having the 1-2 punch be a veteran ace, along with some mid-experienced players in the 3-4 hole, and hoping to build young for the end of the rotation. Alrighty, baseball fans, and that is the end of this video. Please feel free to give this video a like, comment, subscribe, and please, baseball fans, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on this? I'd be very interested to hear. Till next time, baseball fans, see ya.